Hi guys, it's Tammy. It's Tuesday and I've got some tips, techniques, and teachings for you. I'm working on dragonflies this week. I love dragonflies. I love what they symbolize. I've painted many of them, and there's some fun things coming your way. Here's one that I did just in a multimedia pad. This one is just done with acrylic paint, but lots of fun sparkles or metallics in there. And this is oops, another one coming soon. I like to incorporate them with some quotes that I find that are kind of inspiring. But I want to show you a fairly fun and easy way to do one that's just a little different. And that's what I was holding with the glass. And it's kind of hard to see with the glass. It's a little shiny. And this is also the same technique I'm going to show you. This was just done on a rock that I then put some... what did I put on it? Oh, the clear... glossy stuff. I'll think of the name of it. But I'm going to put you down. And before I do, I want to talk to you just a brief second. Where did I put it? About golds. Because these are all going to be outlined in gold. But there's lots of different shades of gold. And one of the things I find helpful is I will just take the couple golds I'm thinking about and I'll paint them on black paper, which I did do for you. But where did I put it? Heaven only knows. That way you can kind of see the difference. The bottled ones from Dazzling Metallics, which are decor, are awesome. But I have to tell you, my very favorite one is actually the 14 karat gold. It just has a little bit of an extra oomph for it. That's kind of more the puddle that I have on my plate versus the round dots. They all work. So I'm going to put you down and we're going to create a couple dragonflies, okay? And let me know when you pop on. We always love to know that you're here watching us. And, you know, if you follow us and like us, we like that too. And if you have people who should see something like how to dot a dragonfly, let them know. We really do appreciate you taking your time to spend a little bit with us. Thanks. Here we go. Let me see if I can possibly pop us up on my iPad, which is always helpful. I put a link in the page, on our page, that has a link to some of the dotting tools. They come in all different sizes, and use what you like. You can, if you don't want to go with the dotting tools, you can actually use like a toothpick for really small dots. Or if you're looking for bigger dots, you can use the end of a round brush. That works well too. Okay. So I've just done this little canvas panel and painted it black. I'm going to flip you up just for a second so I can turn you so I can paint the right way. I'm going to be upside down for just a sec. There you go. That way this will be right side up. If I want to leave a little space to write something, I got to think about that. But I'm going to incorporate the dragonfly and maybe a flower or two as well. So the very first thing I would do if this was on a surface such as the rocks here is I would just kind of give my dragonfly an outline first that would get filled in with black. But since this is already filled in black, all I need to do is pick my gold, move my glass, grab a liner brush, and I'm going to go into that 14 karat gold that I like. And I'm just going to draw a very simple dragonfly. So it's got a wing. And if I might need a little water added to that, because I'm working on the canvas. Every surface, of course, is a little different. When I did this with glass, I used glass paint, and that has a very different feel than working on canvas or working on paper. So I've got my top wings here. I probably should have started with my body, but there is no right, no wrong. So we'll do a couple eyes up here. I want to make them big enough so I can put some color in there. And then we'll have a little bit of a body here. And I can make my body one big section, or I can put several sections in. So these are faux dragonflies, obviously. They are not exactly like a dragonfly. That's the fun thing about art. You get to interpret it. And then the dragonflies have 4 wings. So I'm going to put the second set down here. I want my gold outline to be fairly pronounced because that's what's going to set it apart here. And then I always know I can come back and re-outline if I need to, but I want to make sure that color is on there pretty well. Okay, so there's the outline of my dragonfly. I'm going to go ahead and just do a little flower down in this corner of the world. And I'm just going to make it a simple petal flower, so we'll just give it a center. And you could also do this part with a gold paint pen. I'm kind of a paint purist. I kind of like to paint with paint, but there's nothing wrong with that. I'm showing you the dragonfly, but obviously this could be done for any subject matter. You do want to make sure you're giving your areas enough space so you have room to put your dots inside. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. There we are. Let's pop up again. There we go. So I'm going to get started in adding some color, some dots. And you can use regular acrylic paints. You can use the metallic paints. It's kind of what you want it to look like. And there is no rhyme or reason, but I kind of like to do things a little symmetrically. Let's see if I move this out of the way. So I'm going to take the tool, and you'll notice that on the tools there's a big end and a little end. And you can tell this one's well loved. Again, even though it's a different size, this is a bigger end than this small one. And so that gives you the opportunity to make different sized dots. Since this is pretty small, I'm going to go with my smaller dotter. I'm going to show you real quick that if you do take and go dip, dot, dip, dot, dip, dot, they're the same size. I'm going to do this with a bigger one so you can see this a little better. They're the same size, or approximately the same size. If I do the same thing, if I go dip, dot, 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 and I keep dotting with the same amount of paint, they're going to get smaller. So you want to think about that when you're kind of planning your design. Do you want them to be all one size dot? Do you just want to fill them in just make it all one color or a couple colors? Or do you want it to have more of a pattern to it? Let's see if we go down. See here, we've got those get smaller as they go that way. So it's just something to think about. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to first pick up this purplish color. It's a little runny. And I'm going to start up here on my top, my wings, and I'm just going to dot until I run out of paint. I'm leaving a little space in between so I can still see the black in between. Then I think I'm going to come down, I just wiped that off on my paper towel, and I'm going to come in with a yellow. And I'm going to use the smaller dotter, and kind of go off of every other one, kind of down at an angle. Trying to be somewhat symmetrical. Doesn't have to be exactly, and like there I didn't have enough room to do a lot because they're not exactly the same size. And I think I will pick up, I think I'm going to pick up the bright green. And so you don't waste a lot of paint, it's also a tip to open up your lid and just get the paint from there. So I've wiped off my end. And I'm going to try to do each of these sections here. It's something you can easily do with the kiddos. You can do this again like on paper for a card. It'd be nice to maybe do for a Mother's Day card. Let's go with some pink. Hard to believe that that's coming up that quickly. So I've got the pink. And this one I'm just going to fill in this part just with lots of little dots of the pink. And I'm going to use a different color on that end. I think I'm actually going to add a little metallic on the tips of these wings. A little bigger end, and just kind of fill them in with even-sized dots. One dip, one dot, same size dot. One dip, many dots, different size dots. We'll fill in, I'm going to fill in the eyes with that color too. And this is one of the Dazzling Metallics from DecoArt. Okay. I'm going to skip down here to my flower for just a second. That way my dots have a chance to dry a bit. And we'll go down to our little flower. So this could be a daisy, this could be anything, but we're just going to make it a faux flower. What I did on the glasses is this one I kind of did with the yellow centers and then the white petals. This one had the orange petals, but a blue center. I've never seen blue centers in a flower. And then just my little dots for my stem. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing me do that on glass. It was really kind of an interesting process. So I'm going to do some yellow dots inside my center, and I'm just going to let these be random. I'm not going to try to make them match anything. So they're just filled in, but I think I'm going to make each of my petals a different color. So let's grab my little bit of orange, and I'm going to fill in this one with just some I think the somewhat perfectionist in me, yes, I am a bit type A, I must admit, prefers the either all the same size or descending. But, you know, sometimes you do things a little differently. So we'll let this one be that way. Yeah, I like that better. It just fits my personality a little better for this particular case. Let's grab another color. This is a Calypso Blue. I got a couple extra ones there. And I'll grab the lighter green. You do have to wipe the other color off or it'll blend. Oh, you know what? I don't like that color at all, but that's okay. It's all right. Wiping it off, and then I'm going to go in this one with my purples. Okay, and it needs a stem. Maybe a bit of a brighter green, since that green didn't really show up very well. So I'm going to go with the brighter one. I'm just going to actually pull out a bigger daughter. And my stem starts up in here. If I want to continue making smaller dots, I can always take it off and dot it a couple times somewhere else. And then I'm even going to go that way and make a little bit of a leaf, I think. just with the dots. So it's got a little leaf. There we go. I still have room to do a little writing. And I'm going to come back just real quick and add a couple specks. I might have to come back. Nice thing about that is if I ended up with dotting somewhere I didn't want, there's this magic thing called black paint. And I can just come in and squirt a little bit of that out and grab a brush and just brush over where I don't want it to for it to just be black in the background. There you go. And that dries, it'll be fine. I want to give him his little legs flying, and I would normally do that in black, but since you won't see black on this, I'm just going to do it with the gold. He's got 2 legs on each side in the front. And he's got a leg on each side in the back. I will say I think doing it on canvas is one of the harder ones I've done. I like doing them on the paper a lot. In fact, I have quite a collection of them. But like I said, this is one that we're going to be looking at doing as a class. This one, the background is all done with the iridescent watercolors, and then we use the metallic paints on the top. So that's that guy. Anyhow, that's my little tips and techniques for Tuesday. I hope you're having a fabulous day, and I will be back real soon. Until I see you again, please be safe, be kind. Cheers. Bye-bye. We've got to learn to find the finish button much easier.